Making 3D objects interactable with hands or controllers is actually super simple in the Immersive Web SDK. So I'm here pretty much in a blank project, and if you want to know how to create a new project, you need to watch the first part of this tutorial series. And I deleted all the unnecessary code that we had here, so I only have essentially an empty scene that is being set up with the camera position set. And first of all, what we want to do here is we want to, of course, spawn a 3D object. So for that, we want to create a new function. So let's actually create a new function down below here, which we will call export function and then spawn robot. And here we're going to pass the world as an argument. So we're going to first of all spawn a 3D object, and this is quite simple. First of all, we're going to create a new variable, which we want to call GLTF. And we will tap into the asset manager and say get GLTF. And here we want to get the robot model. And as we have this here set up in our asset manifest called robot, we will essentially load this model up here. And then of course we want to check, do the quick check that the GLTF is not null. And in that case, so if it would be null, so if there was some error loading it from the asset manager, then we would log an error to the console. We're going to say robot GLTF unavailable, like this. And then we want to return. So this is just our safety net here. And then we're going to create a new variable here, which we want to call robot mesh. And this one, we want to actually deconstruct or get the scene from the GLTF. And this is going to be the actual mesh. And then we want to say robot mesh dot position dot set. And we want to set that a little bit back. So maybe at the y of 1 and like a -1 on the z. So it's a bit in front of the camera. And we also want to set the scale. So we want to set scalar to 0.5, so it's not so big. And then of course we need to create a transform entity, so it's also being registered as an entity in the Immersive Web SDK. So we're going to say world and dot create transform entity, and we're going to go into the robot mesh and paste that in here. All right, so to make this now interactable, all we need to do is first of all add the component of the ray interactable. So it's actually being interactive with rays that could be from the mouse or from the controller, because it's a website that could also potentially be opened from a computer. And then all we need to do is we want to add the component grabbable. So we want to make distance grabbable here. So distance grabbable, like this. And there are a few ways to make objects interactable. So this would be grab from distance, which is quite clear. But there's also another one, which is one-hand grabbable. So one-hand grabbable. And there are even more. And you can also, of course, create your own kind of interaction methods. If you want even, but these would be two of the most common. And in order to test out what they actually do, we want to go here into the console, make sure that we are actually in the folder and not in the parent folder. And we want to run npm run dev and want to just test out what is happening. And now if we open up the Chrome window here and we're in the simulator, enter XR, we can see that there's obviously something missing, of course, and this is that we need to, of course, call the function here in our world. So we just created the function, but we, of course, need to call it. And so we're going to put in the spawn robot, and we want to pass in the world like this, because this is kind of our main function here, right? So after the world gets created, this is essentially what's being executed, and this is where we kind of get the entry point into the whole 3D interactive experience. So then back in our window here, we can see the robot, and we can even move it with our mouse if we click it, and this is because we added the ray interactable. And now if we hit enter XR and we click on the play, we can see that if we go close to the robot and then we reduce the Y position, let's say to 1.2, and then we want to hit either the right mouse button here. So the right mouse button is the right trigger, or I think, what is it? E. So E for the left controller. We can press the grab button and actually move the robot. And now we can even switch to our hands, for example, and here the same thing. We have the right button here and E, no, it's not E, it's actually left button, click now. We can move the robot, which is super nice. So this is interactable number 1. So then if we comment this one out and add the distance grabbable back into the script, so then if we go back into our app and we do a full refresh, so I'm going to hit Command Shift R or Control Shift R, I'm going to enter XR, we can see that we can hover over the robot, and now we see kind of this array interacting. And now if we hit Q or if we hit the left mouse button, we can see that actually the robot is moving into our position here. Yeah, which is pretty nice. And of course, there's even more that we can do in terms of the interaction. And this is that we can even enable rotation and scaling with the interaction. All we need to do for that is here in our add component, actually specify some of the attributes. And this is the translate as attribute. So translate, and we want to set this to true. Same goes for rotate. I'm going to set that to true as well. And the scale. So this is something that can be easier tested actually immediately inside of the headset. And as always, it's possible to add this in the headset by simply going to the same IP address in the same Wi-Fi as your computer is. So when you start that, this is the IP address that you need to go to. All right, so here we want to click on advanced and then simply continue or proceed. Here we can see the robot, and if we enter VR, yep, the robot is right in front of us. And if we try to grab it, yep, here it is. So we can hold it actually. We have it, we can rotate it, which is also really nice. The only thing that is not really working is the scaling. And for that, we can actually take another component and try that one out. And this is here inside of the code, the component not distance grabbable, but actually 2 hands grabbable. So let's actually swap this one and save. And then the application reloads automatically on our Quest even, and we can test that out. All right, so back in VR, the application did actually refresh and we can enter VR once more. And here we see the robot, and yeah, that's a bit far away. So let me actually try to reach behind the monitor here. And as we can see now, we can actually grab the robot and stretch it and make it bigger and smaller. All right, but that's already it. That's everything you need to do in order to make objects interactable with the Immersive Web SDK. So I hope you found this useful, and as always, thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.